What's going on, family?
Peace, family, peace. I just put some Orin in my eyes and in my nose. Make sure I get my sinuses clean. So these ain't tears, but they tears.
Oh man, oh man. Rich, what's going on? He said these ain't tears, but they tears though.
I'm prepping. I'm still prepping my tea. I got blue lotus,
Mhm.
hibiscus, chamomile, and lavender.
Oh, nice, nice. You ain't messing around.
Oh yeah, we about to get relaxed.
Awesome, awesome, brother. Awesome, man. Great to vibe with you today. I see you already pinned the title. I love this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta get back to the orange tears they burn. Yes, they do.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some energy cultivation topics. A lot.
Cool.
It's a lot of controversy that I came across just by simply saying, I like to harness my seed and cultivate my life force.
Hmm.
And it's just a lot of controversy. You got people like thinking that I'm saying I'm higher than somebody else, or like this is the way or something. I just choose to love myself in a different way than some people, might disagree.
Hmm.
That's all it is.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
being, uh,
Go ahead with that being said.
yeah. So with that being said, brother, because we haven't spoken in a while,
It's been a minute.
it's been a minute, and last time or the first time we spoke, we had our interview, and I put it on YouTube. I remember you were on the liquidarian journey.
Hmm.
So I want to ask you, brother, are you still
Yeah.
on that? Oh,
We're still on that journey. We're still on it. Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, how has being on that path, how has that affected your cultivation process?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's been everything, you know. It's it's one thing to understand the different densities because back in my day, and I say back in my day like it was a long time ago, but it wasn't even that long ago that I had the propensity for density, you know? I was very much in the deep depths of like being weighed down, being burdened, being over encumbered, and just being in that heaviness, you know, of all the things that I was consuming. So I didn't really understand, and I didn't put the link, I didn't put two and two together when it came to the things that I was eating and the feelings that I was feeling, like the emotions that I was having, all the things that I was going through, the turmoil, right? I didn't put two and two together with my lifestyle. So it's all been a learning, you know? It's been a learning and an unlearning and a relearning. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I like how you said the consumption, because I'm actually looking for my iPad right now, because I
Hmm.
have a beautiful, some beautiful notes on that.
Okay.
And so I want to touch on the goddess. She said, "How can we women be supportive to semen retaining men?" And I spoke on this in the video I made. When you have that partnership and you guys both have that understanding that this is his higher purpose, so to say, it's both partners. So like when you are having intercourse, it's like when he's coming, essentially you're coming. So it typically just happens that he'll come before you, but like typically y'all are both climaxing. It's just he's gonna go first, because it's like when you're in that state, you're there to like procreate. So he's gonna let it go. He's gonna do his thing and create. So it's important that both partners have that awareness, and it's really just about breathing. I was on the live the other day talking about this. When it comes to retention, it's just about being relaxed. So even when you do have intercourse, you're just so relaxed. You're just making love. It's just very relaxing. It's very slow. It's a dance. And when it comes to the woman, just also staying relaxed, because it's very easy, you know, for a woman to get excited and whatnot. And you know, women also like have that external and internal orgasm. So when you guys both like, or really she'll climax way more than a man will multiple times. And so when you stay relaxed and centered, I feel like when it comes to that, it drops into your heart. When you choose not to you know, release, it comes back into your heart, and from your heart it expands out. And
Wow.
that's what they call like the full body orgasm and things of that nature. So as the woman, when you get aroused to, like, you know, that over arousal, so to say, relax, get into the breath. It's also good when you guys are making love to synchronize the breath, guide each other through breathing. And so with the woman, when that happens and she you know, hits her heart and she has that orgasm, that internal orgasm, it then goes into the man and now we're both orgasming. So it's really just about breath awareness in a sense.
Man, you know, thank you for touching on breath awareness, Rich, because I remember you said before, you said how you breathe is how you perceive, you
Yeah.
know? And that really hit me. Like, what inspired you to speak those words?
Yeah, so one day I was just pretty deep in breath. And you know, it goes into the Qigong, which I'll talk about a little bit you know, shortly. But yeah, one day I was just deep in breath. You know, it's like I was having thoughts, unwanted thoughts.
Mm.
And so I said, all right, just breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer I was able to breathe, because when you have that long, let's say you're doing an exhale,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just breathing through it, you're allowed to focus on one thought at a time. Each time you inhale and you exhale, the things are shifting. When you can have that one, you know, exhale, whatever it may be, you can stay focused on that one perception, whatever that thought was.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have anxiety, fear, whatever it is, accept it, breathe, and, you know, just repeat. And the wisdom and the lessons that was meant to teach you will come. So I said, how you breathe is how you perceive, and how you perceive is how you be.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's a completed piece. You know, I love how, you know, that comes to completion, because even when it came to consumption, like we were talking about earlier, I didn't know like all the things that were on the diaphragm, you know, like the diaphragm wasn't able to really get that full breath. So it feels like the wisdom was withheld in a sense. You know, I was withholding the wisdom from myself because I wasn't able to expand fully. So thank you for bringing that awareness, you know?
Absolutely, brother. I have a lot. I have a lot of I have a lot of notes, but I really want to get on that consumption. But we're just gonna get in. We're just gonna get into some notes because, like, most of them are titled. So this is wisdom,
Okay.
and I got these notes are from a guru in the Himalayan mountains,
Okay.
and he has like 10-day just silent retreats, and I'm taking one of his courses right now. So it says, wisdom is knowledge, which is explored, tried, experimented enough, experienced by many, which never failed, without any side effects and without making anyone a guinea pig. What you already have is knowledge. Well, what you will learn here is wisdom. Knowledge is a big barrier. If you are not empty, you cannot learn. You need to keep your mind open. Unless a parachute opens, it cannot save you. You have to be a tabula rasa, a plain sheet with nothing written on it. Today, our knowledge is like a sword in the hands of a child, only increasing our ego. We are under the delusion that we are curing and treating. Your quantum state is increasing, not decreasing. We are knowingly or unknowingly damaging one damaging the one we are healing. Never go to a professor or guru to test him, but go to learn from him. In just a few classes, you cannot come to a conclusion. Half-baked will never taste good. Only know the taste when the dish is completely cooked.
Come on.
And I love the part where he says, you know, essentially he says, when you come to learn from somebody, or in any conversation, I feel like in any conversation, you come to learn from one another. And you can't learn, you should always come with an empty cup. You can't receive with your cup being full. And that's essentially what he said right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's real. That's real, brother. You know. And it also reminds me of something too when it comes to like knowledge, wisdom, experience, expertise, practice, diligence, you know, direction, determination, like all these words. But you said something too. You said the energy of the cosmos is your birthright, you
Yes.
know? And that hit me too. I was like, whoa, the energy of the cosmos is your birthright. But it also gave me the feeling that even though it's your birthright, it doesn't mean that you have claimed like that energy. Can you speak on that?
Yes. So when I say that the energy of the cosmos is your birthright, is because we're actually born with this energy. So like I'll go into the Qigong now. So what we do is reverse abdominal breathing. So you'll often hear me say that the Qigong that I teach is different from everybody else's Qigong. The Qigong that other people teach, I would call Tai Chi. Because Tai Chi is when you're breathing, moving the arms, and you're circulating. What we do with the reverse breathing is you're harnessing more energy from the cosmos. So what you're doing is you're doing your reverse abdominal breath. So typically, when you inhale, you would expand. But here you inhale, and you bring the chi up into the lungs, and you're extracting all the prana from your lungs. And then when we exhale, you become full of chi here. And when you have the monks and whatnot who breaking bricks and whatnot, that's because they're filled with chi all over their body. But it starts in the dantian. And I say it's a birthright and we're born like this because when you watch, because over time, you'll just naturally breathe like this. The dantian will stay poked out. And you just naturally are always breathing into your dantian. And when you look at newborns, their bellies are always poked out. When they breathe in, this might come in a little bit. And that's just, you know, that has to do with the work and becoming completely full.
Right.
And like I said, like, when people say like they don't want to do the work, or, you know, when they try to bypass certain things, that's just a lazy person. And it's because it takes time and dedication to sit there and breathe with yourself over and over, you know, every day, daily, consistently. And yeah, so babies just naturally breathe like this.
Right.
Dantian full of life, full of energy. And, you know, whatever it may be through life or whatever, we lose that touch.
And that's another question I had for you, because why do you feel and when do you feel we lose that touch? Meaning, like, why we later on have to apply discipline for what we had by design.
Right. And I feel like that can go many different layers. But I do feel like it is, you know, what we consume. I feel like that would play a huge role in it. Because even as, like, in this journey, I tell my students this all the time. When you're full, like when you eat and you go to bring the chi down, the belly, like, it's very, very expansive because you got a bunch of food and you got a bunch of food in you. So it's very, like, artificial. But when you go empty, or just, very, very light, just like a mango or something, and you do this for a couple of days, when you start, and another thing is, is you don't just like show up one time and you just have an abundance of chi.
Right.
It takes months and years of dedication.
Right.
But over time, so you start with this. You learn how to harness energy. Eat whatever, do whatever you want to do. Just make sure you're staying on the cultivation. You're making sure you're stimulating the dantian. And it all just happen naturally. You'll naturally let go and whatever. But when you do, you got some chi, you know how to move it. You go empty and you do it. It becomes so real.
Mm-hmm.
And the chi will speak to you. It's like the universe, which I call, life force, cosmos, whatever. It's all the same thing. It's your best friend. And it will speak to you all the time, and give you directions of what to do. And, you might not listen to it, but it'll always be there. And it's there the most when you are empty.
Yeah.
When you can just breathe into the dantian. And, I think from over time, like even if you don't get into the qigong, I'll ask you this because I know you've been liquid for pretty long time. Do you like feel that like the dantian? Do you feel the
Yeah.
expansiveness in the dantian?
Yeah, you can feel it more and more. When you apply the practices and you focus on the area, like they say, 10 go, 10 go. But we focus on the longest, strongest. So I actually love what you're saying because you remind me of what when talking about how the universe is friendly. Tom says this all the time. Ellie Tom Elamine was talking about not only things like spiritual PTSD, like you talked about earlier, but
Yep.
also says that he doesn't encourage people to just stop eating. He's like, just continue cultivating, continue meditating. He said, if you let meditation go, you defeated the whole purpose. Like that's what expands your consciousness from here to there. So I love how you brought those two things together.
Yeah. So what you just said, purpose of evolution. This is a quick sentence.
Okay.
Purpose of evolution. People have sacrificed their lives to educate us on how to take care of this rich hardware and software. The most invaluable is being born as human.
Say that last part.
Hold on, because I just
valuable.
the most invaluable is being born as human.
Okay.
And I feel like that. I feel like with that, it's like we're born. We're amongst all the animals and whatever you want to call it. We have a higher intelligence. We're allowed to think beyond just whatever it may be, whatever your natural, if you want to call it natural, whatever your instincts may be, you're allowed to think beyond that. And even like I said, with the baby and it being your birthright, your instinct is to breathe like this. And that's why I asked you, because like I thought, even just in going, like without doing the reverse breathing over the years or whatever, even without doing that, if you can just bypass all that and just have a really strong mind and just go liquid, whatever, naturally over time, the dantian will continue to, hey, down here, because this is the life force. When you're born and you're attached to that umbilical, this is where you come from. This is the source. So it's just natural either way. I'm just so passionate about energy cultivation and the key, like the qigong that I teach, because I know it'll help a lot of people who like can't like just don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just they just can't understand it. Come and try this practice. It's very hard. They say qigong and kung fu are the hardest exercises you can do, and it is very hard. I have a Tuesday 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing a free class. I would love for you to join if you have the time, brother. Come see what I'm talking about. It's not easy, and yeah, brother, it's just very interesting.
And
I
does it
have some. Huh?
translate into that? Like, does it kung fu translate into like hard work?
Yes, that's exactly what it means.
Yeah.
Exactly what it means. So like when I actually changed my name because my name was Soul Sensation, right?
Yeah.
And I'm reading a cultivation book, and it talks about the 5 skandhas, and one of them is like feelings and sensations that you have to let go of, because if you stay attached to, sensations, whatever it may be, then you'll just be stuck in that area. You're supposed to let go of it all, right? Eventually, like what these brothers are saying is true, but there's steps. You don't just get there. You gotta work, and that's where the laziness comes in. And I always say the same things, but yeah. So the skandha, so sensations are something you have to let go. So I said, all right, I'm changing my name. Let's get it. I'm leveling up. So I said Reiki Soul Food. So Reiki, energy, life force, soul, the sun, food, work.
Mm-hmm.
Energy, sun, work.
Work. All right. All right.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Nice. Nice. And you remind me too as you speak, Rich, because when you were talking about the Dantian, you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
So in Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of my favorite characters of all time on that show was a wise man from the White Lotus, and his name was Uncle Iroh. And
Mm.
Uncle Iroh always had some wisdom for Prince Zuko, you know? And one time he was teaching Zuko and he was like talking to him about how to harness energy, how to harness chi. And he pointed to his belly. Uncle Iroh had that big belly, right?
Oh yeah, he did.
But he said, this is what they call the sea of chi. The
Wow.
sea of chi. And they said that in a cartoon. And I was
Wow.
like, what the heck? They dropping jewels on here. Like, how they do this? But that's what he called it, the sea of chi, where it all starts, where it originates.
So I have before I eventually we'll get to eventually I'll find a consumption one, but this one is good too.
Okay.
Inflammation is the only way to grow. Whatever has been given to you is given by God, whether it is good or bad. Anything given by God is only for your own good. If you accept it, you will grow. But if you do not accept it, you will suffer. Every species on this planet accepts whatever God has given them. Because they accept, they grow, and they survive. Because they accepted whatever God gave, we are here today. For you to become a yogi, the only way is inflammation. If the inflammation is not converted into growth, then that inflammation leads to disease or death.
Wow. Wow. So one more again. So you said it's due to inflammation or information?
Inflammation. So I'll read it again.
Okay.
For you to become a yogi, the only way is inflammation. If the inflammation is not converted into growth, then that inflammation leads to disease or death.
Got it. Man.
And even with that, we're all, like I said, with the whole like you said, why is that we come full with chi, and then we dissipate. Inflammation, like I said with the food, we're constantly consuming, mucus forming, whatever it may be. Anything you consume is gonna inflame you in a sense. So as the yogi, in this text, like I just shared, right? And as the yogi, you choose to grow. You choose to eliminate, and I like how you said information, because inflammation does sound like information. Choose to remove the inflammation to receive higher information. Like I said earlier, You learn to cultivate. Do
Mm.
whatever you want to do. Smoke your blunts. Eat whatever you want to do. Whatever you do, once you come and you cultivate, you'll realize just what that's actually doing to you.
Mm.
And eventually, you'll just have enough chi till you just let it all go.
Wow. Wow, bro. So, yeah, you remind me just now. I have a friend,
Uh,
and my friend was working with a trainer at a gym. And his trainer told him this, they're doing pumping it out, doing days in the gym, working on themselves. And he asked his trainer, he said, what should I eat? Like, what should I cut back on? And you know what his trainer told him?
already tell him.
He said, don't do nothing different. He said, you keep coming to the gym in the gym, your body will tell you what you let go.
Exactly.
So your body will let you know automatically what's no longer serving, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. So another thing. So
Okay.
we have desire because I said on the live that desire was suffering, and then the desires just continued. So a desire, a desire is for experience. A desire for experience is unending. In the files of entropy, the desire is infinite. The one who realizes that desire is a consumption mechanism, so here we go with consumption, realizes that desire is the cause of stress. If you can make your desire zero, then your oxygen consumption will be zero and your heart does not have to beat anymore. If you achieve this state, then you are called a yogi. A yogi is the one who removed his desire. He is the one whose DNA has reached a resonance level of least possible quantum state or a superfluid state. He is the one who made his desire zero. His search for happiness has come to an end.
Wow. 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 Okay, so a couple things came up for me, Rich.
Let's get it.
One of them is a quotation that I heard yesterday when I was listening to the talk. And it said, the less you need to be satisfied, the more affordable happiness becomes. So, and it reminded me when I was setting up these monthly guns for Myanmar. I was at a meditation center. I was in meditation, mindful attachment, letting go of what no longer serves us, why the reasons why we suffer, all of that. And I was sitting in their Dhamma hall, which is like their whole hall where they come and meditate together. And I remember seeing this big poster, right? And it had their chief monk say on the poster, just his face. Just his face was on the poster. And just three words right underneath his face, big letters for all to see. Free. That, that was it. Free from
Free from desire.
free from desire. And it was like you would look at this poster, you would look at this picture of this holy man and all the stuff. You could see that he had been through so much. You could see the wisdom in his eyes. Free from, and it just made me think. I was like, wow, free from desire. Like, what does it feel like?
Yes. And then so it talks about oxygen consumption, right? Because he mentions if you can make your desire zero, then your oxygen consumption will be zero. So then he gets deeper into what is your oxygen consumption. Desire is directly proportional to stress and vice versa. Every desire is like diabetes. It sweetly kills us. Those who are earning more money, their stress level, heart rate, ECG, EEG, and breath pattern indicates how unhealthy they are and what kind of oxygen and calories they are consuming. So that goes back to what I said, how you breathe is how you perceive.
Mm-hmm.
What patterns are you breathing when you're listening?
Mm-hmm.
And to before I finish, because there's a little more, I reposted something earlier. It said to speak like you are right, listen like you are wrong. And
Woo.
and so to go further, whether you are sick or not is known by your prana, yin, energy, and your consumption of oxygen.
Mm.
If you go to a sleep clinic, they will tell you how healthy you are. They will tell you your average oxygen consumption. This will tell you what this will tell you this will tell what you have achieved in this life. So he basically pretty much says that your oxygen level
Mm.
is like your spiritual attainment, so to say. And so your properties, stocks, cars, clothes, expensive perfumes, academic qualifications, etc., are only increasing your oxygen consumption.
Mm.
You are the best or worst doctor, healer, yoga teacher, or learner or seeker, personal coach, fitness coach, devotee of Jesus, Prophet Rama, or Krishna, will simply be known by your oxygen consumption.
Wow. Wow. Simply known. Simply put. I love that, man. The principles are always simple.
Yes. Yes.
Man,
So
go
it's
ahead.
always the same things. We're just saying a bunch of different fancy words, but it's all leading to the same thing.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
all just really comes down to the breath.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they say, all waters flow to the ocean, you know,
Right.
every same
Right.
thing.
So when I like when I say semen retention, when you eject, okay, so I'll talk about the high quantum and the low quantum state.
Mm.
And there's a little like better deep dive, but I have a good understanding that just your high quantum state is where your heart is beating fast. This is like typically fear, anxiety, or like power, ego, things of that nature. Things of that nature. That's high quantum state. Then you have low quantum state, which is when when you relax. That's where the healing takes place. That's where the realization and the knowledge takes place. Now, with the semen retention, and for people who are against the retention, every time you're not in a low, calm, soothing state when you ejaculate. You're in that high quantum, egoic power, psychic abilities. That's where that is. The desire realm is in the high quantum state.
Hmm.
And that's what I wanted to say on that.
Mm. Hmm. So it's almost like how we always talk about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic,
Right,
the low, you know?
right. So
Yeah.
sympathetic essentially is the high quantum state,
Right.
and the other one is the low. Parasympathetic would be the low.
Right. Man, when it came to establishing, that power with your own cultivation, because have you seen an anime? It's called Naruto. You seen this one?
That's my favorite one.
Okay, so you know about Rock Lee and Guy Sensei.
Yes.
Come on now. So you out here walking on hands like Rock Lee and Guy Sensei. How did you get to that point? Like, what were the steps that you took to get to that level?
Yeah. So it's very funny because it's like you're not working out, but you are working out in a sense.
Mm.
Like all you're doing when we do qigong is you're just like standing like this, but with the qi and the dantian, breathing in and out like that, and it is in a sense a workout. But you achieve over time. You're actually building muscle from the inside out. Like it's the first one we learn is called Yi Jin Jing, muscle tendon strengthening.
Mm.
So you're strengthening the tendons from the inside out, becoming stronger and stronger. So just continuing to harness energy. So like when I first came across this knowledge, it was cool. It's because I feel like when you watch anime, you like Goku, whatever it is, you'll love this. You'll love this because it'll feel like you're one of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came across it. I actually was dry. I actually was like 7 days just urine, and like this was my first day into prana. and I came across this thing. And, you know, I was doing it, so I showed up a couple of times. You know, like I did like training like 2 times a week. It's an hour of training. And he's my temple brother now. But one day he said, the masters do 3 times a day, 3 hours a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I said, I want to be a master. So I started doing it 3 times a day for months on end. And I was also watching a brother, Master of Earth? Master of Earth, I believe his name is on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
He mentions the headstand.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like an even like crazier like headstand that I can't wait to do one day. And like, it's like called the ninja, where like you like go back.
Yeah,
the head is back. It's yeah. When you're at that point, but so he mentions the headstand. So I started doing it all comes down to practice, really. It's just a practice. So I did the headstand, and this is funny because you'll hear me talk about 2050 Kung Fu Olympics.
Yeah.
And I was doing these headstands, and he recommends at least 2 hours a day. And when you actually start to practice, you'll realize just why he's saying that. I've never reached 2 hours, but you see the benefits of headstands is because like of gravity, whatever it may be, the blood is always coming down to the feet. It's never up in the higher chakras in the heart. None of this is being filled unless you're doing some chi or you're in your headstand. I mean, headstands, the headstands will do it. And so I did like an hour one day.
Okay.
Just 20 minutes at a time, 30. It was a practice. I started with just 1 minute. I can only just do 1 minute. And then with practice, within like 1 week, I got up to 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I went to sleep that day, and I had a dream. We were like playing football, playing soccer, doing like normal things, but it was superhuman. Everyone was super fast, everything was super.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the cultivation that brought us to that state, because what you start to do is you start to develop these supernatural abilities. Like every thought just becomes boom, there. Like everything just starts playing out. Like I knew I had to take some blows before I came here. I didn't even want to come out and say anything.
Yeah.
But Saturn, this is a whole other topic. let me get back to the Rock Lee. So, like they said, super fast, and as you know, Rock Lee is super fast.
Super fast.
Super fast.
You be having ankle weights to keep him down. You know?
Yes. So it's in my training that just brought me into that whole like Naruto like state, and it's just practice. Whatever it is you want to perfect, practice it. So like I don't know if you did see that video when I was walking on my hands.
Yeah,
because that's another for me. That's where I want to come with in 2050.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be up there. We're gonna be fighting whatever it is. We're gonna be displaying our skills, and my skills gonna be upside down, doing some crazy things. So
and
whatever.
Iris was there to witness.
Right. Yeah, she helped me. Cause there was lots of videos before that. I was running too fast. I was doing everything, falling on my butt. I started walking. Iris came out. She said, whoa, slow down. She blew the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
I took a stop. I grounded. Kept going. And
all this, you know?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
So she's soaking this in too. Like while you're cultivating, you know, they're absorbing all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, she loves it when I'm doing my punches and whatnot. She loves all that. She soaks it all up. It's beautiful. And even there was one time, it's funny because it's like that anime character really like is what will bring it out of you. Mm-hmm. Like one time I was doing Qigong, And you see, it's a certain breathing, and when you've mastered the breath, you can turn anything into qigong. And so one day I was sitting there, and when I was little, I used to watch Naruto all the time. I used to run back and forth relentlessly in the house, back and forth, imagining I was this Naruto character. I had the villains, I had everything. I had everything in my head. Just running back and forth in the house. And so one day I went to start my qigong, and I thought about it. I said, hey, you've been doing this.
Yeah.
And I created my own form, my own qigong form. It's called Soul. Yeah, brother, it's beautiful.
Nice, man. Nice, man. I love hearing that about you, bro. Like, you know, these stories about in younger days when you were doing things, when you were like imitation. You know, they say that there's different ways to learn wisdom. Some is reflection, some is through imitation, like you were imitating, you know, having somebody to look up to. But then there's also experience. And then they say like experience often the harshest teacher because it's the only teacher that gives you the lesson after it gives you the test. You know?
Right, right. Right.
Yeah. And you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because like I said, when the universe starts talking to you, you start doing things on a whim. You don't know why you're doing it. You just do it. So like one time, like in Florida, we recently had a storm a little while ago. And so there was no power. And you see, when it comes to, because the barrier to entry, I feel like when for people to come into this knowledge or this wisdom, they might not have the time, they might not have the money, or they might not just have the dedication, or just, because I always, you know, every now and then do a free session. Hey, you know, you like anime? I promise you'll love this. And so I was sitting there, and the chi came to me, and it brought me to like Jesus Christ in a sense. Like, what is Christ consciousness? And like, would Jesus be charging people for whatever it may be? You think Jesus gave a fuck about money? You know, Christ consciousness, you think he cares about money? And so the chi said, offer this donation. And I said, so I sat there and I witnessed. And I saw all the people that would come, all the people that could just come in, you know, hand me $20, whatever you have. You know, I do say at least 20, because what is $20, right? You go to McDonald's or whatever and spend that easily. So, like, I do have a set price. I say $75. We do like 4 to 5 classes, but we talk. And when you're chosen, you're chosen. So I just say, listen, if you got 20, come join. And not everybody will be in this level of dedication. A lot of people we're just introducing it to now. Later on, whatever it may be, then you know, we'll all come together and whatever. So I was just seeing all the people. I was just bringing in, reel them in, and I was just crying, tears of joy. And so I came out, donation. You know, I'm offering this donation. And then all of a sudden, I had like 7 people come. Whoop, whoop. I did some lectures too on astrology. People coming in. And I received more money through that than if I sat there and I tried to charge one person $100. I received more money by saying, hey, listen, I just want you to come as you are. Give me what you have, come as you are. And like, that was just one example of a lesson, brother. So in that month of training, because it's like the greatest teacher is the greatest student. And so when I come and I share the cultivation with people, they always come to me with how they feel, or just like, you know, wisdom. They just come to me with wisdom on just other topics, whatever it may be. And I'm building this cultivation family. And when you come together, when 2 beings come together and harness the cosmos, you can't put a price tag on it. And when it comes to charge, I said this in one of my YouTube videos. We're charging each other right now. We're always charging each other. Some people will drain you. It might not be even. So, you know, I guess then maybe you I don't know. I guess then maybe you put a price. Tax them. I don't know. But you're always being charged. We're always charging one another. We're always sending a spark, regardless of how it's perceived. Even if it's draining, you're still charging one another in some way, form, shape, or another. Even if it feels draining at the moment, later on, like you said, later on you always come to the conclusions and you learn. And so we're always charging one another. You know, I also say money is a very low form of energy. Because what is it? It just brings you desires.
So when you talk about, you know, the low form of energy and going to the higher form of energy, like how you talked about filling up your spiritual bank. I love that. You know, your
Yes.
spiritual bank reminds me like a spiritual bank account that you're filling up, you know,
Yes.
the more you invest.
You segue into a beautiful topic. So your spiritual bank. So this is the true bank account. This is what's everlasting. This is what you will take, because you see, it's really funny because, you know, people say, oh, forget about the body, X, Y, and Z. And there's just so many things I could touch on with that. Your body is the mind and vice versa and whatnot. But when I say here, I'm not talking about, see, people are so caught up on the looks and what, I'm not, just because the abs are, that's because I'm pushing down there constantly. This physical doesn't mean anything. There's an energy source that I'm feeling and speaking through when it's down there. And when we talk about spiritual bank and the cultivation and having the Dantian charged and out, it's your protector. So you see, like I was saying, I feel like I went through the trenches. I had to go through the trenches a little bit. And right when I was at my low, my temple brother calls me. And he says, yo, bro, I have my chi sing 24/7. Because he grandmastered because I often mention I learned from a Shaolin monk. And his name is Grandmaster Gulen. He's in New York. And I had the opportunity to train with him before I went to Florida in person. And he told us, train 5 times a day, 30 minutes at a time. And he said to always check, make sure it's there. And he told us 5 times a day. So my twin brother calls me. He goes, yo, bro, 24/7 is sync. You got to do it 5 times a day, 30 minutes each. You got to keep eating. You got to keep eating. And when you're when you're doing it 30 minutes, you know, at a time or whatever, see, because you go and do it, the chi will tell you when you're tired, whatever it is, hey, go out and harness, you know?
Yeah.
So he was saying that when the chi is synced, it protects you from the emotional mind and the flesh. It protects you from the human, the invaluable human. So it is your spiritual bank, and it protects the bank. It protects the bank.
Yeah.
See, there's ways that you can make money or whatnot, and you make a trust, and you know, there's plenty of ways of like sovereignty, as people say. But do you know spiritual sovereignty? Can I get a hello?
Come on. Oh man, slow motion this side. Oh,
that was beautiful.
well, thank you. Thank you for this, man. I appreciate you coming on here, Rich. Thank you for having me on here. Thank you for
Absolutely, brother.
the vibes for the tribe. You know, I love the music in the background, the ambiance, the atmosphere that you set, and the breath that you breathe into us all, man. Thank you.
Amitofo, brother. Amitofo means infinite light or wisdom. And also means boundless Buddha.
Okay. Okay.
So like when I'm done teaching my students, always end We bow and show reverence to each other.
Mm.
Ami Tofo.
I'm the telephone.
So,
Okay.
one last thing. One
Okay.
little nugget. The healing pool of consciousness. So the healing pool of consciousness is equivalent to the fields of entropy that exist. Understand that an innumerable number of world systems exist. The world system terminology comes from a Sanskrit word which is called samsara. We are entangled between hell and heaven because of desire. The only way to achieve the superfluid is to remove the impurities in you, which helps you to achieve the low entropy state. The state is only possible if one is following the path of detachment.
Mm.
When you say fourth samadhi, it can be achieved by low quantum state of energy, as well as high quantum state of energy. But in the high quantum state of energy, there is a lot of consumption. So I just came across the one that I wanted to say.
Mm.
I just didn't know where it was.
Mm.
But here we are. I would say it again. When you say fourth samadhi, it can be achieved by low quantum state of energy, as well as the high quantum state of energy. But in the high quantum state of energy, there is a lot of consumption.
Mm.
The path of consumption will make you a demon. In the path of high quantum state, there is no enlightenment, and one who practices it will only become a demon. Only in the path of low quantum state can one get enlightened.
Wow. So only in the path of the low can we go high.
Absolutely, Ashe.
Only in the path of darkness can we go high.
Absolutely.
Man, man. Much love, brother.
Much love.
Much love. Thank you so much, bro. We'll have to do it again, man. These are
Absolutely.
charges.
Absolutely. I feel like I touched on everything that I didn't want to touch on. I just kind of like.
It'd be like that.
It's like, did we talk about energy cultivation?
Yeah.
Absolutely, brother.
All
Anybody
right.
watching this?
Go ahead.
Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Come and join a free session of Qigong. Come and
Right.
join a free session of energy cultivation. You'll understand why we say, lighter foods and semen retention and things of that nature. You'll understand. I guarantee it. Just don't leave.
I remember you said it. So, all
Awesome,
right.
brother.
Hey, have a beautiful day. A beautiful
Absolutely, brother. You as well.
Take care.
Ami Tofo.